with 2024 on its way gone, what can you do in 2025 to strengthen your marriage? We have a couple of things to go over, a couple of different areas to discuss, and ways that you can make 2025 a year to remember. So the first area I want to talk about is spiritual, and that's obviously to build your connection with God. I mean, we're both Christians.
Yes.
It's an important part of our lives. God has definitely helped us through many difficult situations. So that first area is the spiritual part of your life. And one thing you can do that will really help is be intentional to pray for each other every morning.
Yes.
When you get up, spend that time in prayer. Really, and you really should know the things that both of you are struggling with or dealing with. Lift those things up in prayer, whether you're not feeling well,
Yep.
Whether someone's going through a tough time at their job, or whatever's going on in their life. Lift it up in prayer together.
Yes, and even if you had a fight with your spouse and you're not really feeling them, it's important to pray for your spouse, and not just for yourself, because you are to cover your spouse if you want a long, healthy, and happy marriage.
Right. Another thing that I do is we have devotion. So we actually will go through some books and some scriptures and talk through it, and really been a great thing in our lives to draw us closer together. So those are two things you can do. Anything else you can think of spiritually?
Well, even with the devotions, I'd say they have really helped us through some tough times. Devotions, I can't promote them enough. And we have a couple of books that have really helped us that we will share with you, that we highly recommend. If you want a stronger marriage, a closer marriage, I would say not just prayer, but also devotions as well.
Yeah, and also actually in our description, we do have a link to our store. If you want to look at some devotions, we have a bunch of things in there that you can take a look at. But we'll definitely talk more about it in another video, but it's definitely been a big part of our marriage.
Yes.
The next area is a big one everyone talks about in marriage is communication. And really, it's self-evident. How are you going to do better at talking to each other and not at each other? We're talking with each other. I think that's the main thing. So we have a couple of ideas there that will help you. And one that's been great for us, and I wish we did it when we were more newly married or younger in our marriage. Frankly, sometimes I don't know how we got away with not doing it, which is date nights. We do it now. And for a long time, we didn't do it. And frankly, we had little kids. It's not easy. So if you have little kids, I implore you to get a babysitter. Definitely, it's worth the time to do it. And even if you can't do it every week, we do it every week. 2 times a month, whatever. Have a regular time to do that, and a time to get together to talk about things, to connect. And it's a very valuable thing to do.
Yeah, it's also a great time to unplug from all of those things that have been distracting you throughout the week, whether it's work, whether it's kids, whether it's your electronic devices. A lot of us, we are attached to our phones, and they take a lot of time. So when you do go on your date, make a goal in this new year to do less phones, at least for the date night. It's kind of weird if both people have their phones and you're on a date. At least put it away for that period of time.
Right. And very similar to a date night, or maybe a couple of times a year, set aside some weekends where you go away. Now, you can go to another city, or you can just go to even a hotel in your town. I mean, in our area, I can't even count. We have like maybe 5 hotels in our vicinity, and there's one that we could even walk to, and they're actually building a new one in our area, which is kind of crazy.
So there are a lot of options.
Exactly. And we have another thing we didn't do, which I don't know how we made it without it, was doing that.
Well, I know how. It's just the Lord.
So this year we've actually had a couple of moments. We went out of town and got away, and it was a really great time to connect. And in this couple of cases, we just drove our car down because it was in the state we live in.
Yeah.
The year before that, we actually had flew away to different places. mainly because of well, a couple of funerals, and one was a celebration of someone's
Hmm.
80th year celebration. Actually, two 80-year celebrations. Um,
Yeah.
but it was great to get away and just awesome time. It really was like a second honeymoon in a sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Driving vacations are great too. I mean, if you can't afford to fly somewhere, even if it's an exotic place, you can drive somewhere. Driving someplace is great. Awesome time.
Absolutely.
You get a lot of talk time in the car, especially if it's a long trip. A lot of talk time.
Right. Stop at the
Awesome.
rest
Oh
station. We
yeah,
did
it's awesome.
stop there and got some things to eat and different things. It was great. It was great. So we definitely implore you, if you're not doing that now, do it. Even if it's one time a year, two times a year,
Don't
put
sleep
that
on
time.
staycations.
Yes, and like I said, you don't have to go very far. You can
Yeah.
stay in your city or in your area. I'm sure there are hotels
Yep.
nearby. This area really is important, and we haven't really spoken about it yet, but I'm sure we're going to have videos on it. Our finances, and what else is there to say about that? Finances are very important. From what I understand, it's the number one cause of divorce, and we can definitely understand why. So why not this year think about paying down or paying off your debt?
That's if you have any.
Praise the Lord. And chances are you have it. I mean, it's
But if
just
you
reality.
don't, hallelujah.
If you don't have it, hey, you did a great job.
Awesome.
Awesome job. Um, so we've paid on our debt, and then we've learned some lessons along the way. We'll probably share in a video what not to do once you pay off your debt. But it's a great feeling. I mean, we had student loans for a long time.
Yeah.
It seemed like it didn't want to leave. And when it finally paid that off, it was an awesome,
Mm.
incredible feeling to have that gone. That was a huge payment, actually, too. The
Yeah.
other thing, of course, is to save. I do read sometimes, and just a couple articles, how the economy may be slowing, there's layoffs. But I've been around long enough. There are always layoffs. Even sometimes you could be in a company and things are going well, and they just decide to phase something out or division or whatever. I've seen that
You just
even
never
in
know.
great times, right? So it's always good to have emergency funds available, and if you don't have that, this is the year to build that up.
Yeah.
So if you do get laid off, you have 6 months of expenses put aside. You're not stressing about it.
Yeah.
Well, you'll stress, but not versus you have nothing, right? So definitely think about that, as well as additional saving, investing. Could this be? Are you putting money in your 401k or your retirement accounts? Are you building that nest egg? Because I can tell you, I mean, we're getting older, and retirement's getting closer and closer for us. So it's definitely something we think about.
And also, it might be a time to increase whatever you're putting into your 401k or your retirement savings account. Perhaps you're putting in a certain percentage. If you can put more, put more. Or if you're already at the max, this might be the new year to do that and increase your contributions.
Along the lines of financial is giving or also tithing, depending what you do. The ability to give, and I can't. It's happened so many times. Just to be able to give is so much better than receiving, right? Especially if
Yeah.
someone needs help.
Hmm.
It's just an awesome feeling and
Yes.
something that you can definitely do in 2025 or do more of. Think about increasing what you're giving to tithing, um, and be a blessing to other people.
Yes. I think it's an act of obedience as well. As Christians, to pay our tithes. I know we have different opinions out there, but I'm a witness that tithing works. You give your 10%, even more than that, and God is faithful when we do so. He's faithful and He can be trusted. So I would highly promote either increasing the tithe or getting to the tithe within the next year. That should be a top goal to see how God will bless you in 2025.
The last area, to some people, that's maybe number one. Hopefully, it's not. It's a great area, but it's really not number one. But it's a fun area. That's your love life, and of course, that's unity and fulfillment in your relationship. And now, as a man and woman, we have different takes on it. So I'll let Jeanette start on that, on her opinion on how you can improve that.
Well, definitely, intimacy is important, and men think differently about intimacy than women do. But we know that intimacy begins before you even get to the bedroom, and so it's important to build that closeness, to spend that time together, to connect on a spiritual and emotional, and even psychological, mental level before you even get to the physical. I mean, the physical by itself may be great, but it's emptiness if you don't have all those other factors. If you don't have that connection, that unity, well, at least for me and for many women, I believe it's just emptiness.
Right, and that's where I'll let Jeanette go first on that to give her perspective. And that's just a question, if I can, if I make it up there and I can ask God one question, I say, why did He make men to be so visual? And I say, women, is it relational? What are your thoughts? Is it more
I
relational?
definitely say more
More
relational.
relational, right? And
Not
because,
that we don't see too, we can see as well. Yeah, we got eyes.
right, there you go. I mean, in reality, I think men do want that relational too, but we are definitely more because we do want to feel wanted and desired and needed. But we're definitely more physical. That's something that can really get a man going.
Hmm.
But then the challenge is, like Jeanette, you're relational, right? So
The thing that women are looking for is that we're looking at your heart. We're looking for your heart. So we want your heart. That is what when we have your heart, then the physical is much easier.
right,
Okay? Versus if you're just going for the physical and the heart is not there, it's meaningless.
and it's probably another video to really get into that because it's that dynamic between a man and a woman that makes it interesting in marriage.
Yeah.
So definitely this year, think about increasing your intimacy. For men, I would say be more affectionate towards your wife. Really figure out what she needs and wants from you. Listen to her. A wife, I know Jeanette has told me probably a million times what she needs in that area. So just ask the question, what do you need? What do you need me to do? And you definitely get an answer, no doubt about that.
I'd say definitely be genuine in your quest and in your approach, and not just doing it just to play a game or to get what you want. Even though at the back of your mind you think you may get rewarded, still do it honestly and from a pure heart, and good things will come.
All right. So New Year's upon us. We really hope everyone listening has a great year in your marriage. Or if you're not married, maybe this is the year. You never know. Uh, things work and God works in mysterious ways.
His wonders to perform.
Exactly. So have a great 2025. And one thing I will say before we end this video, we really would love to hear your comments on things you want us to discuss. As I said, we've been married almost 30 years now,
Yeah.
which is, when I think about it, it's crazy how much time has gone by. And we've known each other more than 30 years, actually, if you count our dating
We don't
time.
look it, right?
Right. I'm starting to look at it a little bit. So we really want to discuss things that are on your mind, whether you're married, single. We would love to talk about those things. So we definitely put in your comments what you'd like us to discuss this year, and we would appreciate that.
Thank you, and subscribe. And thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye.